Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week. Got 5 new comics, plus the new comic shop news. Nice little Bloodshot and Little Bloodshot. I don't know what the heck that is. From Valiant. Guess the Bloodshot Salvation. That'll explain it all. Just figured I'd give you a quick look at this, since I now get it. The girl who handcuffed Houdini. Nice cover there. Nice cap cover. Doom Patrol special. Oh, a bone book. Look at that. This just gives you a little bit of what's coming out. Always interesting to look through. Of course, I didn't fold it up right. Oh well. And now we'll give you a little look at The Divided States of Hysteria by Howard Chaykin. 3rd issue, and let's see, and in this issue, I think in the last issue, the plot's starting to come together. I think all these spree killers and serial killers from the first issue and the second issue are going to be put together as some sort of team. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but it was my birthday this week on Monday, and a friend of mine got me this original art from Howard Chaykin. To Jared. Howard Chaykin. This is how Howard Chaykin does all his art now. There are no more Howard Chaykin pages. He draws the figures all on separate sheets of paper. Whoops. And then he uses Photoshop to kind of... So all these figures are drawn on separate sheets of paper, and the backgrounds and stuff are done in Photoshop, and he layers it up and colors it. So here's one of those. This is from, what was the name of it? Midnight of the Soul, issue 3. I think I looked it up. Page 14, panel 1. So there's our lead character talking to someone, and very nice little present. I was met Howard Chaykin for the first time recently, and he was selling these, and I was looking through all his artwork, and it was all pretty nice. So, a very nice gift for my birthday. And now we've got The Wicked and the Divine, issue number 30, as our battle continues between the gods. They're kind of still battling each other to figure out what their plan is to defeat the Great Darkness. They don't really have a good plan yet. But this is, what is it? No Rest for the Divine 2. This is the one god who's the goddess of the underworld. She just kind of disappears into the dark and kind of is living her own life, but they're all scheduled to die within 2 years. They're trying to figure out not only how to die, but how to defeat this great darkness. They don't really understand the point of their existence. Looks like we got a lot of the dark underground in this issue. But Wicked and the Divine hits that issue number 30. A lot of my Image comics have been hitting that issue number 30 lately, so they've been around for a while. And speaking of issue 30, here's Manifest Destiny issue number 30. You know what? I think I've not enjoyed this story arc of Manifest Destiny as much as the others. I think because they've stayed still. They're in their winter quarters, and this mysterious fog has made them all crazy. Now we've got a screaming birth scene for Sacagawea. And so all these this mist has made them see all these crazy monsters who they've, a lot of who they've seen in the past. That's not real, that's somebody else delivering the baby. So, it's kind of like, I don't know, this issue that they're not out there discovering stuff. Stuff is coming to them. But it's still a good book. I've been enjoying Manifest Destiny for 29 issues now, and here's issue number 30. And here's Richard Corbin, Shadows on the Grave, issue number 7 of 8, so we got one more creepy issue to go. I have to say I've very much been enjoying it. The first issue, I wasn't used to these short stories, but then I got into them. It could have just been that I haven't read short stories in a while. Who knows? But I'm really enjoying them now. And at the back, there's usually an 8 or 10 page story that's been continuing. Let's see, where's the continuing one? There we go. About ancient Greece and a mighty hero who was betrayed by a king, and Cyclops monsters, and he always gives you a little story on the back. Wow, look at that. There's a creepy drawing. Gives you a little story on the back. Gives you a little story on the inside front page. Chock full of stories in this Richard Corbin Shadows on the Grave. Richard Corbin's an automatic buy for me. He's just such a master storytelling that I enjoy just about anything he does, and this is good stuff. And the final issue I bought this week is Killer Be Killed, number 11. This is the beginning of the third, I think that they call them story arcs, but they're really not story arcs. Because this is an open-ended series, and each issue is almost done in one. It's continued in the next issue, but each issue itself has a beginning, middle, and end. So there's our hero slash anti-hero, Vigilante, who's going around, killing people, maybe because he's crazy, maybe for a demon. I haven't been terribly fond of these Killer Be Killed covers. I mean, they're okay, but they're pretty generic. Not like I remember the Fatale covers being very good. Oh, Masked Killer Speaks. Oh no, I spoiled it for myself, maybe. Is he writing into the papers? I don't know. But anyway, Brubaker, Phillips, Breitweiser, they're another automatic buy for me. Anything they do, I'm on board with, and because they're good. I mean, that's what it comes down to, so I'll take it. And speaking of my birthday, here were two other books I got for the occasion. Fragments of Horror by Junji Ito, who did that other book. Oh man, I all of a sudden can't remember the name of it. The big thick one that was about the town that was haunted by swirls. Uzumaki, was that the name of it? That was really good, so I figured I'd get this one too. There's a Edward Monk, The Scream cover riff. And of course it's another of his horror books, and since it's Japanese it reads opposite of what we're used to, but that's actually easy to get used to. Reading from right to left instead of left to right, so I look forward to reading that one. And I also got Drew Friedman's Heroes of the Comics Volume 2. I have Volume 1 already. This is all Drew Friedman portraits and little bios. There's Mike Esposito with a little bio. Harry Lampert with a little bio. I don't know him. Joe Maneely, little bio. So these are just fun art books. Here if you're a comic book fan. So there's a couple of cool books I got. And finally, we'll give you a look at my artwork. In the background, we've got an Acid Ram number 11 and a Dreams of Things 45. This is my that guy right there is called Mod Man. I draw him in all different colors all the time. Just one of the repeating things I draw, but there he is with a weird face with all sorts of what's the background, what's the foreground going on there. And this is kind of like one of my painted ladies, except instead of black and white, I made it all color. So I made all the markings on her in color. I made a lot of different colored backgrounds in her. Couple more of my dreamlike things. You guys have a good week out there.